In number 5, this says graph the equation in standard form, and so we're going to do the cover-up method. So if I want to find x, I cover up y, and I say 9x equals 18. So I divide by 9, and I see that x would be 2. And so on the x-axis, I put a point at 2. Then, to find the y, I cover up the x, and I've got 3y equals 18. I divide by 3, and y equals 6. So on the y-axis, I put a point at the 6. And then once those 2 points are drawn, I just connect them with a line. In number 4, it says, number 6, it says graph the inequality y is less than or equal to 1x plus 4. So first, you have to recognize that this is in slope-intercept form, m and b. Okay. Secondly, you have to identify that this would be a solid line because it has the equal to part. And because it is less than, you are shading down. So go ahead and start at the 4 on the y-axis because that's where we begin. And then we're going to go up 1 over 1. And we're going to keep doing that until we can't go any further. Now we can go down 1, left 1. Down 1, left 1, and we're just going to keep doing that as well until you can't go any further. Your line is solid. And then to shade below, you go to where you started, and below is under or down less, so we would shade below or under our line. In number 7, write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line comparing the points negative 12 and 1, negative 13 and 3. So, we need to label our points. And we need to plug that into the slope formula. Alright, so, first of all, let's identify y2. So y2 is 3, y1 is 1, x2 is negative 13, and then x1 is negative 12. So you should recognize that double negative makes a positive there. And 3 minus 1 is 2, and negative 13 plus 12 is negative 1. If I reduce that or divide it, we get that m is negative 2. Now, to do point slope form, we would need this formula that you can find on your test or your review packet. So y1 is 1. Our slope is negative 2. And then x minus x1, which is that negative 12, which again, make that a positive. And then the whole goal was to get to slope-intercept form, so now I need to distribute the negative 2. And then distribute the negative 2 again to get negative 24. And then we're going to add 1. So y equals negative 2x and then negative 23. In number 8, the parentheses indicate to multiply. So we have x to the 18th and y to the negative 12. But we can't have a negative, so we're going to bring that y to the bottom. Make it positive. In number 9, we just subtract. So we would have x to the 5th. 10 minus 4 would give me 6. And then for z, you take the 8 minus 2 and get 6/9. But we have discussed that you should always reduce your fractions. So 6/9 can be divided by 3 and get 2/3. And then the last problem for this page would be to set up your table of values. And we always use -1, 0, 1. And then I'm just going to plug that into this problem. So I would say 5 times 2 to the negative 1. Can't have a negative, so I put it over 1, and I bring the negative part down. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Then I have 5 times 2 to the 0 power, where 2 to the 0 becomes a 1. So that's just 5. 5 times 1 is 5. And then lastly, we plug the 1 in for x, and we have 5 times 2 to the first. But 2 to the first is 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. So to graph it, we go to the negative 1, up 2.5. At 0, we go up to 5. And at 1, we go up to 10. And then you create that curve that gets really close to the x-axis but never actually touches the x-axis.